Hello, this is guitarist Jimmy Haynes again, part 2 video of the Swing 51, per request by a dear friend of mine, Brandon Shooping. You may have noticed in this video that I've switched guitars. I'm now playing one of my other ones I've had, this particular one for almost 20 years now, made by Santa Cruz Guitar Company. It does happen to be a Tony Rice model, but it does not bear his signature inside, which at the time it really didn't matter to me. It sounded so great when I had went and played it that I thought I had to have it, couldn't live without it. And here it is. This guitar lends itself to a lot easier to play, especially these type of chords, and one of the reasons why I got it out today. So without further ado, let's go into the chords for Swing 51, and then I'll try to break them down as well as I can with the names and the notes and possibly the degrees of the shapes. And then we'll look at the solo at a slow speed. And very first chord in the tune is in D major. And what I'm playing here is what they refer to as a D major 7th, 9th chord. You hear what that sounds like. I'll play the rhythm just a little bit here, and then you'll get a feel for it again. 2, 3, 4. Alright, that first part, let's look at those chords and break them down. D major 7th, 9th. The root right there. F sharp is your 3rd. Then we have a C sharp. That gives it the major 7th sound. And here's the 9th, this E. I'll try to go as slow as I can on these chords. Here's the next shape, D minor 7th, 9th. What I did is I flatted this 3rd to F. I'm still playing the root. I still have a 9th in there. And the C is the dominant 7th now. It is no longer major 7th. In this chord we were playing a C sharp, which is major 7th for D. C makes it dominant 7th. So now we have a D minor 7th, 9th. Most of these are typical jazz chords I've seen in books, and you can probably pick up. Moving on to the next chord, just a standard G7th. If you can see my fingers there, that's kind of hard to see. Let's look at this way. 3rd finger, D note. Then we got a B note right there. And then I'm going to come in with a F, which is your dominant 7th, and to the root, G. There's what that chord sounds like. So we got G, F, B, and D. G7th. Moving on to F major 7, 9. Actually, this chord should be a F major, just an F major 7. I choose to play this, which is actually the same thing as this D major 7th, 9th here. I just moved the root 5, 5th fret right there. I know it's kind of hard to tell with my position markers not present. I am at the 5th fret with the D chords. And the G is on the third, the root being on the third. The F is at 8, that F root. It's the same chord as the one at the 5th fret, just move it down to the root on the 8th. Okay, moving on. We got a B flat 9, flat 5. And what I'm doing there is the pinky is played on the C, the third is the G sharp. The only other note I am playing is the B flat note, which is 1st fret, 5th string, and you get this sound. Sounds strange, doesn't it? So we got the root, then we got the 3rd, flat 7, that's a 9, and right there, that E, yeah, that E gives it that flat 5 sound. So it's a B flat 9, flat 5. And then the tune, of course, goes back to the D major 7th 9th, to D minor 7 9, G 7th, and here's the change: A suspended 4. I'm just playing 2 notes there in that chord, but I am actually playing from the 5th string down all the other open notes with it. That D gives it that suspended 4 sound. And that G gives it the flat 7. In context, G7, F major 7 9, E flat 9 flat 5, D major 7 9, D minor 7 9, G 7th, A suspended 4, and then you caught me doing lowering this to a regular A7, and all I did is move the D note to C sharp. That's just a A7th. Moving on to the second part of the tune, B minor 7. This is technically a B minor 7 here. But if you play it this way, you can use this substitute chord and adds this 11th degree interval in the chord. And all I'm doing is eliminating that note, which is typically played with the minor 7th chord, where you bar from the 4th string down and add your 2nd finger. Now I'm just going to play the 3rd and 4th string there with the root, and I'm going to add this E note so you get that sound. B minor 7 11. Here's the next chord, C 6 9. Let's see here if you can see that right there. I am at the 7th fret with my 1st finger, 8th fret with the 2 down here at the bottom, and I just bring the middle up. Moving on to a C sharp. That's a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. You can hear the minor flat 5 in that. That G is with that flat 5. Moving on to the F sharp. That's an F sharp 7th. That's augmented. That's got a raised 5th in it. D note. Sometimes I got to think about the notes and what degree they come in the scale. Let's play that second part of that from chords. Back to that B minor 7/11 to an E. You can use an E suspended 4. You could also use an E 7th suspended 4 here. These are happening between the 5th, 6th, and 7th fret. There's suspended 4. And then the next chord being A, suspended 4. And then that'll bring you right back into the head of the tune. D major 7/9. I think what I'll do now is try to play the solo as slow as I possibly can. And the intent of the video was actually to show the chords, and that way you can play along with that and figure them out. If you get around to the solo, just have to push rewind and back it off and look at the phrases. I'll try to play them as slow as possible. I want to say that I'm starting right there on the 5th to 7th. And then I'm backing off to the 4 to 6 frets. Second part of the tune. Let's try that again. It's a little tricky there. I usually just play the chord in the solo, but it's 5th, 4, 5. 4th fret. Or that's what it should sound like. chord of the tune that I ended with is actually just a D major 7th 9th. It's the same chord as this that we started in the very beginning. The reason it sounds different is because we're actually just adding the 5th interval of that chord of your D chord, which is an A note up here at the top. And I'm also playing that note here, repeating it again. So here's the original chord. And if I strip this stuff away real quick, I'm just going to drop this down and pick up that same note where I was at here. I'm still going to have the pinky in the same place. This is in the same place. And then I'm going to bring my thumb around and I'm going to try to grab both of these strings, the E and the A string. That way it adds the 5th degree of that scale. One of the very few chords I've ever played where it actually have to wrap your whole hand around the neck to play them. You should never be doing that with these other chords. When you're playing these, your thumb should be riding. And I don't even know if I can show you this, but if you can get that angle there, that thumb is riding right on the center of that neck when I'm playing these chords. That's kind of hard to see, but you should never try to be gripping these chords by putting the palm of your hand behind the neck. Two things it does: it restricts you from playing the notes and the chords clean. It puts your fingers at a very weird angle, and not only that, the pad of your hand behind that neck is going to dampen the sound of that guitar. So we don't want to have anything but a thumb riding on the back of that the back of that neck for every one of these chords. And then the last chord, of course, you just about have no choice because you have to bring the thumb up and grab both of them strings. Alright, thanks for watching. That was Swing 51 in detail there, as best I could get it. And I hope you will learn something from that. Enjoy, and if you like the video, please share it with your friends. And I appreciate everybody's input on these and comments that they're giving, and we keep up the good work, everybody. I appreciate it. And go to my YouTube channel, check that out, and you'll find these most of the instructional videos on that. So that would be Jimmy Haynes Guitar. And thank you all, and have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.